Hello, hello. Hey everyone, it's me again. Just wanted to share a little bit more details on the EMA's, VIX, and Heat Seeker strategy that I use. Friday, I took only 2 trades, so I was very busy, so I don't really have much to trade that day. I took two very good setups, um, and so I just wanted to share those with you and kind of how I also plan for these trades. I'm just trying to get to the times here. So usually every morning what I do is I chart levels on QQQ. I feel like it's been like the cleanest lately. So you have 595, 586, 585, 580, and these are kind of the bigger levels that I saw in there. And VIX the same levels pretty much from the prior day. So we had 27 positive node here, with that 30 up here, but this was a strong gatekeeper node. 25, 24 and a half, and then 24. 27, 25, 24 and a half, 24, 23, and 22.50. I think they showed up later in the day, if I believe. That's what all these charts are from Friday. So one of the things that I noticed on Thursday is that we closed pretty far away from the EMAs. So that is candle extension, right? And so Thursday, right here, this is where I closed. So I said the further we close, it'll be a nice kind of jump up there to that EMA. Same with VIX, we're pretty overextended, and I knew we had to come back. In some cases, like here, you can see that it wasn't until the day after, but volume is what helped to push down. So here was Friday. And as always, I'm always looking at the 10-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, and 2 minutes to try to snipe and get a better entry. So we opened up the market. I saw VIX was kind of bearish, but not really because the EMAs were kind of all clumped there. So there really wasn't direction for me to take anything. My first trade was not until 10:18. I literally was in the trade for 2 minutes. That's how busy I was, but I believe I did 30% on that one. So if we look at 10:18, what was happening at 10:18 was around here. And let's go see where the nodes were at 10:18. So we'll do 10, kind of 17. So 584, 585, they're gatekeepers. If we see here, 585, right? Yellow, 586. On VIX, if we go here, we just see the 26, the 25. And that is bullish. That's telling us direction. You know, in some cases, people see that node and they're just thinking that the market's going to go up, but EMAs are telling us the direction of the play. That's the beautiful thing about EMAs. They're like little bumpers when you go bowling. And so if we see at 10:18, this just ripped. Second candle came up. You see that? Just loves the EMAs. And so I'm trying to get better myself at taking profit at candle closures because that's where your premiums are going to be worth more or cheaper if you're trying to enter, right? So if we look at the 10:18 here, so this is 585. I was hoping that we would just break down further, but the candle closure is what got me out, and I was very busy at work. So at 10:18, I took the trade somewhere around here. So I saw this candle, and I was like, all right, maybe I'll even get the 12 EMA. And I was getting closer, and I just took it, and I closed it somewhere down here. I got a 30% profit. Actually, I'm sorry. As soon as this closed, I just took it because I knew it was going to come back up. So as soon as it came down, it closed right here. I just closed my trade and I was done. So that was my first trade. Also, another thing that I was looking at as the hour candle. So if we're looking at the hourly candle at 10:30, sorry, the Webull has this glitch. This was the first candle. Look at how far it closed. I was hoping we'd just get a rip, but no. So that first candle was going to close here and the EMAs were up here. So I knew we had to go back up. If we're looking at VIX at 10:30, was up here, right? So what happened at 11:30? Came down. 10:30, closure here, closure down here. Remember, they're opposites. Look at how this one wicked, this one wicked too. Very the same, just opposites. So that's what helps in the trade. So that was my first trade. And then I just wanted to wait to see what other things would happen. And so if we see even at 1240, like we almost got to the 580. This was at 1040. Just to show you where the nodes are giving direction. Very strong on VIX, right? Still there. 27 is still rejecting. Very strong, but we have the gatekeeper nodes, 582 and 27. So 582 was around here. We closed below it, but this one closed above. We closed above. Everything closed above. That's kind of a hint of, hey, we're not going to break this. Just put it here. Look at that. Throughout the day, I'm making the nodes on my chart just because it kind of keeps me in check to see where we're at. This would be at 11:30. My next trade, I took it at 11:48 till 12:36. So this 11:30 candle, let's look at it. Let's look at the 1 hour. Look at this. We closed above the 5 EMA. Below, above. That's a hint of we might attempt to go higher. And we can see here. We reject the 27 at 1040. We have 1130. Look at what happened. Now you can look at the 2-minute, as I did for my first trade. And as I always say, I like to see expansion to take the trade. Look at that at 1122, just rip down EMA's spread. I think I noticed that and I was like, I have to get into another trade once I get a pullback. 1122, 1122 here. Look at that. I hope you guys are starting to realize this. There's a pattern. So 1122 ripped, and I was like, I want to get in as close as I can to the yellow EMA. So 1148 for me was around here. And 1148 was right here for the VIX. Look at this. Came up and just flushed. So that what gave me my confidence, right? I try to get as close as I can. Let's look at 1148 where the nodes are at. 1148. We'll do a few minutes before maybe just to kind of see clarity. Look at this. 588, gatekeeper node. 25 is now serving as reject. And it is. Look at this. It's reject. The power of EMA, guys. The power of EMA. So 1148, this one closed, and I said I want to take the next one as soon as this one closed, just for clarity. And I saw it come green. I took it. And I just wrote it. I was hoping we get to the 595 and get deeper break. But once again, I took my profit at 1236. Let's look what was happening at the 1 hour candle at 1230. 1230. We could not break the 592. We're overextended. And so that's what makes me not hold it longer. I knew that we're extended, we're going to come down to the EMAs, and so I decided to just take the profit there. I could have played it again, but I was just really busy with work. So let's look here at the VIX. If we can see here, look at this. So even the 1230 was overextended from the EMAs, you can see there. So I knew we were going to come back and touch again. And this is, if you can see on there, it turns bearish and the 1 hour turns bullish. But you can see on here at 1230, look at this fake out. It's great for a re-entry if you wanted to continue it, or you could have held it. For me, I was too busy and I'm trying to get better at just taking profits at candle closures. I think that's where you can get the most premium. So if we see here, look at this. That's a 48 EMA. We could not close it. Let's take a look at where the node was here on Heatseeker at that time. So at 1320, we have VIX at 2450, and we have QQQ. So that's 2450. So yeah, we closed one above, but the structure is still bearish. And then always look at the falling candle. It just flushed. And if we look at the Qs, the node there should have been 588. And yep, 588, positive gatekeeper node, also aligned with EMAs. Let's just chart it. 588, gatekeeper node. And look at that. Did not close below it on the 10 minute. Next one just ripped. I hope this is getting easier to understand. That's just kind of the strategy, I'm sorry, that I've come to really appreciate and trying to become more disciplined on doing it every time. It's stress-free. Everything just becomes like muscle memory. It might seem like a lot, but it isn't. All you're doing is just looking at different time frames. In this video, of course, it seems like I might be going fast, but I mean, we're talking minutes, right? The nodes, you have minutes. The EMAs are moving slowly. And so you just want to make sure that you're looking at it. 2 minute for sniping, 10 minute just to see a little bit more directional move. And that's all I'm really doing throughout the day, just trying to see if there's a play. I love when the candles rip above, and so always zoom out too. So this is a weekly. If you see on here, you know, it's 6. Let's just look at it. The 5 EMA is 603.54. The 12 EMA is 597.29. So today's Sunday, of course. I believe the candle might start today or tomorrow. And let's look at the VIX. It's overextended. Could we come down? Possibly, right? It's helpful to be zooming out and seeing on the 4-hour, daily, monthly. It's so useful. You want to be looking at this. You don't want to just follow the nodes blindly if you're using Heatseeker. You know, they're there for a purpose, market makers, but how do we interpret it the easy way as consumers without getting into too deep of their Greeks or Vanna or Gex and all that? So I like to keep it simple. And if we look at here, VIX is bullish. QQQ is still can seem bullish, the structure wise, monthly wise. Look at this. VIX is the one that's very overextended in my opinion. You know, could it go up? Yeah, possibly. You know, or would it come down? I mean, we'll find out sooner rather than later, but we have to be cautious. If we look at November, look at that. It was overextended, finally had to come touch the EMAs at one point. If you see the structure, could we go down lower? Yeah, that's also possible, right? But we always have to intraday, daily still bearish. Look at this. Cannot close over that EMAs. 4 hours trying, but daily still bearish. So if it comes up here, Could we reject from here? Yeah. We'd have to really stay above, close above, for us to change back into a bullish stance structure. But always be looking. You know, that you could do this in a minute throughout the day and looking at structures. Look at this, you know. It's holding. This was the morning. Gotta be careful with the mornings. Give it some time. Let the EMAs expand. You don't want to get stuck in chop. It's the last thing you want to do. And if you are, just maybe you're scalping. You know, 30% in 2 minutes. That's pretty darn good. But you got to be diligent in candle closures. Entering candle closures. Or is it closing above an EMA? Where's that node? What does it say? Keep it simple. Don't overthink trading. You know, don't overthink it. So always look for the rips above EMAs, wait for a pullback. You could have gone in there, but I waited. I like to get closer into the 12 EMA myself, if it ever gets there. Don't FOMO. There's your closure there, if you longed it before. But yeah, let me know guys if you have any questions. Hope this is helpful.